Experts inside and outside the company warned of potential dangers and argued the company to undergo a certification process. Years before, Ocean's Gate submersible craft went missing in the Atlantic Ocean with 5 people on board. The company faced several warnings as it prepared for its hallmark mission for taking wealthy passengers to tour the Titanic wreckage. It was January 2018, and the company's engineer team was about to hand over the craft named Titan to a new crew who would be responsible for ensuring the safety of its future passengers. But experts inside and outside the company were beginning to sound alarms. Ocean's Gate's director of the marine operations, David Lockridge, started working on the report around that time. According to court documents, ultimately producing a sketching documents in which he said the craft needed more testing and stress the potential danger to the passengers of the Titan as the submersible reached extreme depths. 2 months later, Ocean Gate faced similar dire calls from more than 3 dozen people, industry leaders, deep sea explorers and oceanographers, who warned in a letter to its chief executive, Stockton Rush, that the company's experimental approach and its decision for the forego a traditional assignment would lead to potential catastrophic problem with the Titanic mission. Now, as the international search for his craft entered another day, more is coming to light about the warning leveled at Ocean Gate. Now, as the international search for the craft enters another day, more is coming to light about the warning leveled at Ocean Gate as the company raced to provide extreme tourism for the wealthy. A spokesman for the Ocean Gate declined to comment on the 5-year-old critics from the Mr. Lockridge and the industry leaders. Nor did Mr. Lockridge respond to the request for the comment. Mr. Rush, the company chief executive, is one of the passengers on the vessel and was serving as its pilot when it was missing on Sunday, the company said on Tuesday. An aerospace engineer and pilot, he found the company based in Everett in 2009. For the past 3 years, he has charged up to $250,000 per person for the chance to visit the wreckage of Titanic, which sank in 1912 on its inaugural trip from England to New York. The critics from the Mr. Lockridge and the experts who signed the letter 2018 to Mr. Rush were focused the part on what they characterized as the Mr. Rush refused to have the Titan inspections and certified by one of the leading agencies that do so much. Reported in the court recorded that he had argued the company to do so, but that he had been told the Ocean Gate was unwilling to pay for such an assignment. After getting Mr. Lockridge reports, the company's leaders lead a tense meeting to discuss the situation. According to court documents, filing by both sides, documents came in lawsuit that the Ocean Gate filed against Mr. Lockridge in 2018, accusing him of the sharing confidential information outside the company. In the document, Mr. Lockridge reported the warning the viewpoint lets passengers see outside the craft was only certified to work in the depth of up to 1,300 meters. That is far less than the would be necessary for the trip to the Titanic, which is nearly 4,000 meters below the ocean surface. The paying passenger would not be aware and would not be informed of its experimental design, lawyers from Mr. Lockridge wrote in the court filing. The meeting led Mr. Ocean to fire Mr. Lockridge according to the court documents filed by both sides. Ocean Gate has said his court record that he was not an engineer, that he refused to accepting information from the company's engineer team, and that acoustic monitoring of hull's strength and better than the kind of the testing that Mr. Lockridge felt was necessary. The company said in lawsuit that it is appeared Mr. Lockridge was trying to fix Mr. Lockridge response by alleging wrongful termination. The legal battle ended in the settlement letter in 2018. The industry leaders said in their letter that Ocean's Gate should at minimum test its prototypes under the watch of DNV and another leading certification company.